In this video, we're going to go over the need to securely destroy data. So when would an organization need to securely destroy their data? They would need to destroy it if they're getting rid of devices that have data on there. Just because you delete data doesn't mean that it's gone. Only secure deletion will permanently delete these files. So for example, we went to an equivalent of a Goodwill and found some used computers, pulled out the hard drives, and all the data looked like it had been wiped on these hard drives. We then performed some forensics on these hard drives, and we found out that one of these devices actually came from a dentist office. This dentist office did not properly destroy the data, and so we were able to find the social security numbers of many of the patients as well as their personal information, which was a huge security violation. Luckily, this fell into our hands rather than falling into the hands of a criminal. Otherwise, this could have been a much worse situation. So there are 4 different methods for deleting data. The first method is the nominal deletion. This is simply hitting the delete button. Is the data recoverable? Yes, you go to the recycling bin and pull it out. Is the media reusable? Yes. If it weren't, that would be the worst device ever because you hit the delete button on accident and your device is destroyed. The second is basic file deletion. As you can see, the trash can was just emptied. This is an example of the basic file deletion. Is the data recoverable? Yes, it is with software. Is the media reusable? Yes, you can still use this device. So how can that information be recovered? Well, with software that's out there, you can easily recover this information and explore it. So the best thing you can do is to wipe or clear your drive to ensure that this data is not recoverable. So essentially, if you delete a file, there are applications out there that you can select to wipe the free space. Free space is basically anything that is not currently being used by an active file. Because what happens when you delete a file, all it does is it removes the headers, indicating that this space is now available for overwriting with other files. What you would need to do is clear this free space. So how does that happen with wiping and clearing? What it's going to do is it's going to pass over every bit of free space and replace it with zeros. And then you could do another pass and replace it all with ones, and then just keep passing back and forth to ensure that everything is completely wiped. The government standard is 7 passes before something is considered adequately wiped. Just because you do 1 pass doesn't mean that it's still not recoverable. There has been indication in a lab that by looking at the magnetic structure of these devices, they've been able to recover the data with a 1 pass delete. So make sure that you do a few passes if you're concerned about anyone being able to recover your data. Is the media reusable? Yes. All we did was change all the bits from zeros to ones or ones to zeros. The fourth method is completely destroying the hard drive. So there are companies that specialize in destroying hard drives. So companies will send their hard drives to them, and they have these industrial shredders that will literally pass the hard drive through the shredder, making it into bits and pieces that cannot be recovered. So is the data recoverable? No. Is the media reusable? No. So let's have you try an exercise of securely deleting data. There's this application called Eraser. So go ahead and open Eraser and then do the following instructions. So pause this video, try this on your own, and come back to continue with the discussion. Okay, so what I'm going to do is create this new folder. I will just say new, and inside this folder I will create a text document. We'll call this test. And then I'm going to go to the Eraser application, and then I'm going to click on the drop down next to the erase schedule. I'll click new task. So we'll go ahead and click add data. And then there's many options that we can target. We can target a specific file, several files inside of a folder. The recycling bin itself, instead of emptying the recycling bin, we can overwrite all the files that are in there with zeros. Any unused disk space, so this is what we call free space. The entire drive, our partition. And so what we're going to do is we're going to select files and folder, and then we can pick a specific type of method. Now you can see this has 1 pass, 3 passes, and so on. Each one of these are going to have multiple passes and are going to take a lot more time. Here's the U.S. Department of Defense and how many passes that they would require with regard to this. So we're going to go ahead and just pick the default, and we'll browse for a specific folder. So I'm going to pick this erase folder. We'll click OK. And I'm going to say delete the folder if empty. So I'll go ahead and click OK. And then I will go ahead and click OK. make sure that what you have queued is what you want to delete, because if you put your drive in here, you could potentially wipe everything. So I'm going to right click this and say run now, and it says that it's completed, and I went to my file explorer and that file is no longer there, nor is the folder.